Hi, this is John Fleischman with So Does It Matter. As you know, right here, we're all about California politics all of the time. Anyways, over the weekend, I was doing what I do, which is reading through political news. And one report from Axios jumped off the screen at me. It was one of those headlines where you kind of go, really, did I really just read that? The article was titled, and I'll read you the title, Inside the Push to Knock Newsom Off His Perch as the 2028 frontrunner. I almost want to read it again because it was not a Republican attack. It's not conservative spin. This was Axios, a mainstream media source, reporting that Democrats are already plotting on how to take down Newsom. And I read it and thought, yeah, we need to talk about this. So, hey, before I go on, I just want to take a quick moment to ask you something, which is if you support my independent voice, which means I am not beholden to anyone, as I comment on California politics, there's two simple things that you can do. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you'd click like and ideally subscribe and you'll get it to your inbox, that'd be great. And if you're watching this on Substack, just hit that restack bottom on the bottom or the little heart button, and that would be great too. That'll widen my reach. Okay, anyways, let's get back to it. This piece by Alex Thompson and Holly Otterbein in Axios, it's based on conversations with more than 20 Democratic operatives, including several of them that are working for potential 28 presidential candidates that are not Newsom. Their conclusion is really simple. Gavin Newsom is the guy to beat. He's also the guy with the most exploitable baggage in a Democratic primary. And that's Axios language, not my language. So one operative admittedly that objectively Gavin probably has done the best from the 2028ers in the last year, but another one followed up by simply saying it's a superficial sugar high. I mean, at the end of the day, the cat fight is beginning. Axios explains why Newsom has become such a target. It's his national profile, which has risen sharply, driven by his becoming the Uber troll of Donald Trump at a time when people weren't doing that. And of course, it's also probably because of his big political success in marshaling the forces to qualify and pass Proposition 50 on the ballot. Actually, there's a court hearing going on right now to figure out whether or not that's going to move forward. That having been said, they underestimated Gavin Newsom as the bottom line. And now they want to cut him down. They want to chop him off and make sure he's not their nominee. According to these so-called Democrat experts, they're looking at a number of different attack lines on his electability. So one of them that Axios reports is that Gavin Newsom is just too liberal and too California for a national election. I mean, if you think about it, he is the former mayor of San Francisco, which is an off-the-rails left-wing city. It continues to be off the rails. And of course, he spent 4 years as lieutenant governor, now 7 years as governor of California, where he has really, really governed from the far left. This is not a moderate governor pursuing moderate policy goals. I've written about this. Our unaffordability problem in California, the fact that California is more expensive than the other 47 continental United States, is policies that either he inherited and doubled down or new policies. Mostly this climate alarmism stuff that has come with extreme taxation, regulation, and fees. It's making everything more expensive. Anyways, these are criticisms coming from his own side. Axios lays out the specific vulnerabilities Democrats plan to hit, which include his undying loyalty to health care for illegal immigrants, the chronic homelessness in California, skyrocketing housing prices, and here's the key points, that these problems still exist despite years of his being in charge, and the Democrats know it. So, and again, these are ideas coming from Democrats. Then they want to go after his elite image. Axios notes how close he is to the super uber wealthy Getty family. I've written about that in the past. He's had a lot of privilege that has come from his connection to the Getty oil family, and they're going to use that against him. Some opponents want to call him a Davos Democrat. That label is poison in a Democrat primary. For those of you who do not know, Davos is a conference that takes place in Europe, and it's a group of uber elite wealthy people that get together, kind of like the ideas that these are the people that really run the world, and they certainly believe that they do, and maybe they do. But anyways, Axios then moves on to say they're talking about the scandals. So they're going to go first and talk about his affair with Kimberly Guilfoyle when she was married to the campaign manager who was paying to run his race for mayor of San Francisco. Guilfoyle, of course, went on to then date one of the Trump boys, and now she's been sent off where she is the United States ambassador to Greece. It's a tough job if you can get it. So That's scandal number one that we're going to see going on. But the second scandal is going to be all about COVID. And it starts out with the French Laundry and about how during strict COVID lockdowns that he imposed, Newsom attended a private dinner at the French Laundry to support a lobbyist friend of his. The image of him partying it up and boozing it up at a fancy, arguably the fanciest restaurant in California at a time when he's got everyone else on lockdown is just too much. Axios quotes an advisor to a potential 2028 rival who said this, and I quote, "French Laundry is never going away." Axios adds it's one of the stickiest things ever. So that's how Democrats see it. And these attacks are no longer quiet. They're coming out. Axios reports that Congressman Ro Khanna from here in California has referenced the corruption charges involving Newsom's former chief of staff. Khanna called it a toxic stain on the state. And that's not exactly subtle. That is a warning shot from Ro Khanna, and he won't be alone. And of course, they're going to talk about the book, The Strange Book. Newsom has a memoir coming out. Even he admits will be read through a cynical lens. I don't even understand the idea of putting out a book that is going to make people cringe other than it's one big inoculation where he wants to lay everything out in one book about his growing up and all of the get everything out there so that if anybody tries to criticize him on the campaign trail, I wasn't trying to hide it. It was in my book. I don't know if any of you have seen the 2.5 minute preview video that Newsom did for his book. I cannot even figure it out. My friend Will O'Neill, who's the chairman of the Orange County Republican Party, says when you listen to Newsom, it's like some sort of weird combination of the babble that comes out of former Vice President Harris and the jargon that comes out of the techies in the Silicon Valley kind of mixed together. And you end up trying to listen 3-4 times and trying to figure out what exactly he's trying to say. Anyway, here's the bottom line. Axios makes this clear in their assessment. Gavin Newsom may be the frontrunner, but he is not the consensus choice of Democrats. Democrats see ideological risk, they see personal scandal, and California's record as a national liability. And the most important point, the attacks aren't coming from the right. These are coming from inside his own party. So let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to see how this goes. And before I go from this commentary, I just want to remind you quickly, if you found this useful or interesting, please like, subscribe, share it, restack it, all that stuff. Again, it's John for SoDoesItMatter.com, and we'll be talking to you again soon.